Hey YouTube, how you doing? It's Max. As you can see, the air mattress is no longer there. Laura's done staying with us and is off to bigger and better things than being our roommate. So it's just Julia, I, and the dogs currently. Today has been a very bad day for video making, I will say. I wrote this script about pretty much attitudes versus behaviors. And there were some things in there with examples that I really thought would work as I was writing it. And as I was filming it, I just realized it wasn't working. I had all these other plans to like do these interesting things with it. Maybe I'll try it again later so I won't like spoil it. But if I don't, I don't know. It was just a very like interesting topic that I just didn't see it really going anywhere. So I decided to make a City Skylines video instead. This is a game that I enjoy playing every now and then. I've had it for a couple years, so I hop into it every now and then. I just enjoy like making world building and cities and infrastructure and all that stuff. So this is just a game that's kind of up my alley. In this playthrough, it's not going to be like an extensive playthrough. Maybe I'll continue this or something, but I don't really think so. I'm going to use the unlimited money just to kind of showcase how like without a whole lot of pressure, just showcase like how I kind of approach the game. And yeah, if you enjoy this game, it's on Steam. But yeah, we'll hop right into it. So I'm gonna do a new game, and I'm just gonna do the first map that comes up there. I do have some DLC content, so some of the things I use, maybe you might not have if you just have the vanilla version of the game, but I'll try to use only vanilla stuff, and just kind of keep it, simple. Um, and yeah, so we'll get right into it. The whole purpose of the game is to really just grow your city and be creative, and it's just like one big sandbox, really. So you got your residential. The three like kind of like main things are your residential, your commercial, and your industry. So what you want to really do is you want to grow your residential population. But in order for your residents to like pay you, you have to have jobs for them. So that's why you have your industry, and residents will need to take care of themselves. So you also need to build commercial so they can go grocery shopping and all that. And there's a lot of things at once when you're coming into a game like this. So I kind of just want to like show you how I would approach making a city from scratch. So the first thing I like to do is to come over here to this macro view and also look at the natural resources. And so this kind of gives you a good idea of what kind of industries you can kind of make on this map. You can also kind of look at like the transportation, the transit. So like you can see there's like a ship, so you might want to build like a ship harbor at some point. Some maps have trains, some maps have like airlines, so you can consider that more for late game when you're exporting. But every map has like a highway that kind of connects to your town, so you'll at least have that to connect to your place. So when I go into this natural resources, you can see I've got oil, ore, forest, and fertile land. And right off the bat, I'm looking at the oil, and I'm like, oh well, there's oil way over here that I probably won't get to for a long time. And there's an oil right here that's kind of close, but I'll need to kind of, probably invest in the square. And if I invest in this square kind of early, I have to build a bridge, and I gotta, there's a lot of water here that's not really usable. So it's kind of turning me off from investing in oil. So I've got ore, which is right along the coast there, which is kind of nice. It's right near the export or the exit, so I can export it pretty effectively out of the town. There's also, the farming right here in these three. There's more farming all over the place, but if I only got this square to start with, um, it looks like there's plenty of farming and also plenty of forest to really kind of invest in right there too. So I'll probably start zoning next. So after I kind of look at this, I will, start getting my zoning kind of tool out for building districts, and this is going to be probably like ore, and I'll get this one for farming, these couple for farming, and we'll get the forest right in here. And so this is, these things might change depending on what I'm kind of like looking at for the direction of the town as I expand it. But I think this is a good starting point. Like if you don't know where to start, this is kind of a good, I guess you gotta start somewhere. So you might as well start with like your zoning, right? So we got farming 1, 2, and 3. We got forest 1, and we've got ore. So maybe eventually I will name these things something a bit more creative, but just to kind of denote the purpose of these areas, that's what I'm going with for now. Also looking, and this looks like it will be a good spot for residential, and maybe I'll do like a residential strip here, kind of like an interesting like a wealthy kind of coast area. So sorry, that's just a Discord message. So we got residential 1 and we got residential 2 over here. All right. And the next thing I kind of want to look at after I kind of have this zoning and I know what my industries are going to probably be in the future, I want to look at my utilities. So your water and your electricity, I always start with water just to kind of see where the direction of the water is flowing, and it looks like it's kind of going up this way. So in this game, they don't treat their water. So in the video that I was kind of posting about, with water treatment. You have to treat your water. In this game, there's an added challenge where if I put my where the water is getting disposed of, it's gonna start polluting this water. So I'm kind of looking over here, and I don't really know if I'm going to utilize this coast very much. So I think that's a fine spot to build the waste. And I didn't really make any of these buildings. I'll probably just remove a lot of these buildings just because I guess I can't. But I'm just going to, put that there, and then I'm just deciding if I want my water pump to go on which side of this island. And I'm kind of looking at this, and I'm kind of looking at this spot up here as a potential spot to put like some windmills. Let me just check to see what the energy is looking like, and it's dark green, and dark green means that I'll get 8 energy units. So that's a pretty decent spot to place a windmill. I could also put it over here, but like I was kind of talking about, I kind of want to reserve this kind of area, this peninsula, for kind of more upper scale homes, upper class homes. And I don't know if I want a windmill to be making it noisy. Whereas over here, this could be a good spot. You see, there's like a circle around it. It would be a place to, kind of build some, I guess, more environmental friendly, clean energy, if you will. And you could also do a coal power plant. Some of these things are a bit more late game, so I'm not going to talk about those. But a coal power plant isn't clean energy, and for this, I kind of want to try to play a game where I kind of build a clean energy. And if you're kind of going to the beach, enjoying this kind of cove here, you can see all the wealthy houses up here, maybe, and then you can see some green energy up here to kind of remind you of that it's a environmentally friendly place to live, and people can have some pride in where they live. So I'll put this up here. Doesn't look like the noise is really going to disturb anyone. The sound won't even reach all the way over there. And then I'm also going to put a water pump right over along the coast, and I kind of want to hug this edge. That way I can always expand if I want to, but I'm not, there's going to be no noise. So after I do that, I kind of want to, I want to connect these eventually, but before I do, I kind of want to focus on the road system because I kind of want to plan out how my roads are going to go. And as I'm looking at this a bit, I don't really like the idea of this roundabout because that makes it kind of hard to get over to this ore area. So what I want to do is I want to remove this a bit. Oop, kind of. I think there was an undo button, but if not, I'll just remake it. So I'll remake that area, and I'll remove this road. And it looks like I kind of made this a little messy. I'm pretty sure these are highway roads. So let's go into highways, and I think there's a one-way somewhere. I think this might be it. And let's just remake this real quick. Cool, cool. So what I want to do, oh, that might be the smaller one. Let me just upgrade this real quick. Oh, is that the wrong one? Anyway, I'll just make these the same. And oof, just a second. Sorry about that. I had to sneeze and blow my nose. I've been like, as I was saying earlier, I just feel very stuffy and didn't want that to be on in the recording. But yeah. Anyway, I fixed this road system also while I was doing that, and kind of want to build like a roundabout here. And eventually maybe I'll build a bridge over here somewhere. I'm thinking this might be an interesting spot for a bridge. Usually when you want to make a bridge, you want to make it in an area that's the channel is not as wide. So it just is. Pretty sure that's how like some of the ideas that go into building bridges, aside from the stability of the terrain and all that. But so I'm thinking like maybe I'll build a bridge somewhere right there. And but first I want to build like a roundabout. So I'll walk you through like how I personally build roundabouts. So what I kind of like to do is I kind of like to build a little bit out from this thing to start, and I like to go about 400 spaces. And then from the halfway point, I go 200 and 200 again to also make 400. And then I switch my road tool to the curved, and I go up to this line, and I just kind of connect them like that, and do another one. And this way, let me just remove that one. This way, it's more of a perfect circle. And oh, I don't know why I'm on the straight line tool again, straight road. And that way, it's like a perfect circle. And then what you can kind of do as well as just kind of connect this in a way. And I might have built this a little bit too. Uh, not in a way I kind of want. So maybe I'll go back to this road and I'll connect it so it kind of comes in at like an angle here. And right at the edge like that. Perfect. And then we'll get the upgraded road thing and we'll just fill this in. And you can see this one is facing the wrong way, so I'm just going to reverse that by right clicking, and we'll go back to the bulldozer and remove this middle spot. So there you go, you got like a roundabout, and it kind of comes in, and you can see all the traffic is kind of going one way, so we'll maintain a consistent flow. From here, I kind of want to build more of a collector road system. I could be building an arterial road system, which is the 6-lane roads, the 3x3 on one side, 3 on the other side. But I don't really think I need arterial roads with this small of a place. Maybe if I had a bigger area to work with, I might think about arterials. But for now, I'm just going to go collectors, just because you also want to manage your upkeep and stuff like that. And especially with like a roundabout, you don't want the speed limits to be like too quick for a roundabout, because then people can't really merge on as easily. So I think that I feel good about the collector for right now. If I notice that the traffic's really bad, maybe eventually I'll upgrade the lanes and stuff like that. But when you're talking about upkeep costs, which the game does actually keep track of, you don't really want to go as like, even collector roads might be a bit much, but for the time for where we are right now. But what I kind of like about using collector roads to kind of like map this out a little bit is that if you were to put stuff on these roads, it kind of you don't have to remove buildings and do eminent domain to pay people to destroy their houses, which is accurate for real life. You don't really want to get in the habit of destroying houses, and there's a lot of legal things there. So I'll start building a road that kind of comes down. Maybe I'll end it a bit early just in case I want to, make some more stuff for this beach area. And then eventually I will connect it to this pump. But while I kind of have this, I kind of want to see what the best, before I move this way, I kind of want to plan out the roads and see what makes the most sense to build a kind of like a strip of neighborhood. So if I kind of come out like this, I can kind of pre-plan how many roads I can get. So I can get about one, two, 3, 4, 5. I don't know if I want to go one more, because I want this to connect. Maybe I'll upgrade that, but let's also see how this kind of looks first. And you could use like dirt roads to kind of plan all this out, but I'm just using these for right now. Let's get right there. I kind of like this, I think. So I kind of like it when there's 5 roads for the neighborhood. So I think I can remove this and make this one actually let's kind of do it like this. Yeah. So that's just kind of planning the neighborhood area while I'm doing that. So I want there to be a road that kind of connects this way to the clean water utility, as well as there being some area for neighborhood as well. So just connecting that again like that. And there's 2 points of entry. Also, actually, what I kind of like better now that I'm looking at it, instead of doing these 2 points for entry, maybe I'll do 1 point of entry right there and 1 point of entry right there. I usually like having 2 entry points at least, so that there isn't clogging up, the traffic doesn't get clogged up. Also, since this is going to be a main road, I don't want there to be a whole lot of intersections that clog up traffic that way. So just thinking about, like, this could be like a nice way to sort of collect traffic along these. Maybe these could even be collector roads to collect people, which could be something to consider for the future. Um, Maybe I'll kind of upgrade those right now before I start building houses, just so um, people aren't going to be having to move their houses. And while I'm at it, I might as well just finish up like that. So this is kind of like could be if I decide to expand, these can be more of a collector. So if this becomes an arterial, this might be remain a collector kind of thing, if that makes sense. So as I can finally start reconnecting all this water and utilities now that I kind of have a decent understanding of how I want my road system. So I kind of want the water to go along the roads here, and the main reason for the water pipes going along the roads is you got your irrigation reason, which you don't want the roads to flood. So if you have all these drains for where the water can drain into, then you can uh, it prevents the roads from getting as wet and flooded. You can also think about this as like if a repair needed to occur on one of these pipes, it's much easier to dig up the ground than it is to remove a house or dig up where a house is. And while that's not really a factor in the game, in real life, it's just kind of, you can't really like do a repair on a pipe where someone is living. That's kind of like an easement issue. And yeah, so pretty much I'm just gonna try to keep this centered around like a realistic water pipeline, wastewater pipeline, and just keep it along the roads. It's not perfect, but at least it's under the road. It's kind of hard to get it exactly perfect in this kind of game. But also start getting the water set up for this residential area, and you don't have to go along every street. That's why I kind of like the 5 streets, because you can kind of do every other street with the water pipes. In real life, you might want to do like pipes everywhere so that it collects better. But this is just a game, and if you're trying to save money in the game, especially, that's just kind of like a good way to kind of do that. Then you kind of want your power lines, so you need to make sure that this wastewater pump gets connected to the power. So what I like to do with power lines is I like to kind of build them in like straight lines in a way, and this is very much in the way of this boulder. I'll see if I can. Huh, that's very interesting that it's not letting me build there. Is there like maybe there's like something there that's preventing me? So I'll just build it a little bit further down, I guess. And then I kind of want it to connect horizontally over here for right now. And then I kind of want it to come up this way. So we'll connect this over, and I want this to line up with not going into the roundabout. And that's good. And then we'll move it up a little bit more, and we'll connect it that way. So eventually, as you're starting to build things, you won't need these power lines because uh, the buildings will connect all the way. Maybe they will, maybe they won't, but I at least want to kind of map out this grid a bit. So I can see already that like maybe there's going to be another residential over here. So I'm going to first build my houses, and then I'll start working on my second residential. And how I kind of like to do the houses in like an area like this. Oh, I want to make it more like that. I kind of want to leave a little bit of space for like something of like a strip mall so people can do shopping. And I kind of like this because it's again in the center, so the collector roads are funneling traffic into this kind of like mini downtown kind of area for this first little community. And we'll keep some like that, and we will do that, and then we'll make these blue. And there you go. If I press play, these will start to, you know, fill in. People start moving here, and I'll fill the rest in like this. And maybe at one point I'll upgrade these roads a bit more so that they can walk easier. Maybe some paths and stuff like that. Maybe I'll put some more kind of stuff along in here. But right now I like to kind of keep that gap. Just kind of, you know, build with intention, if you know what I mean. And we'll kind of do a similar thing over here. So I'll start with the again. I'll start with the local roads, and we will kind of connect them like so. Maybe I'll have this one not be as big. Let's see. How much is this going to be? 800. What would be a good? I'm just going to build this to sort of see where it lines up, and then I can delete it. So I just, in case I want to line that up in the future, and then we will come around like that and connect it, and I'll build one that kind of comes up here as well. Oop, did a little bit too much. And maybe this one will only be 4 for now. Maybe I'll add another one. Could even make like a little park there, but that's another area. Oop, looks like these people need some power. So I can connect just like this. Oop. These roads are really, or these power lines are really giving me a hard time, not really let me do that easily. So they should be getting their power. I think they have their water. Yeah, they have their water. They will need waste management at some point. And so you typically start off with the landfill as opposed to the incinerary plant. So I'm going to do the landfill. This is unfortunate because you need to kind of build it in an area that will be okay with waste. And so you don't really want it right next to the town. You kind of want to plan how you need it close enough to the town to where the delivery trucks don't have to go a long distance without a lot of traffic, but you also don't want it to be too close to town to where it smells. I don't know if I want it like right here where the city is, like when you enter the city. I don't know if that's the first thing I want you to see. So I'm thinking maybe it might be good to kind of put it over in this area, but still not really sure. It might be fine to put it kind of over near the farming industry. over here. You know, it's still downriver from the water, and this farming. You know, I have two other farming patches over here. Maybe I convert all this into farm to kind of divide the wealthy from the middle class. So I'm thinking maybe I'll just extend this, get rid of this farming, kind of make another area where the landfill can kind of be. So I'll pause this, and maybe I'll make a little bit more progress here, see how far I want this to extend to. Um, and this is looking like one of these is looking like it might become another um, sort of collector road. So I'm thinking maybe this road will be the collector road, and I will connect it like that. And this one, can I get an odd number, like 5 or something? So let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'll do one more. I kind of like the odd number. And then we will kind of have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9. This is kind of the middle point, so maybe this is where I will kind of start to build where the landfill can kind of go over in this area. So it's not right along the highway, but it's and I again, this is looks like it's gonna be like maybe a collector. So maybe I'll put another kind of local road in here, and we can kind of build off something like this. We'll see if we can get it like fit it right in there. Yeah, so there we go. So we can start doing the landfill. It's close enough to the residential to where it will be utilized, but it's not, impacting these other areas. Maybe I'll still get like a little forest industry somewhere in here, and the two farmings. But this is kind of the basics. Last thing I'll do just before I go is do this ore industry. So what we can kind of do is put a road kind of going a little bit more into here, and then we can just kind of start building some little industry things off in here. So if we zone all of this, actually let's see if there's any industry. I have the industry expansion pack, so I don't know if it really makes sense to utilize that if not everyone's gonna have it. But although I do know that I can kind of like do this at least. So we'll at least I don't know if this is something that everyone's gonna have, but I figured I might as well just utilize it while I got it. So if I type in this, I think I can uh, build an industry, a main building, to sort of declare it an oil kind of place. So I have oil in here, main building, and I can sort of maybe I'll put this over at the front. Maybe I'll remove this road and kind of build a little bit this way, so we can have like a little bit of a main building kind of just jutting out. Remove this road as well, it's not quite fitting. And I want there to be a little bit of space right there, so yeah, that's just the main building for there. And so this is going to be the oil area, and I can start kind of creating these industries, so we can start kind of this will just be like one kind of industry area, so people can kind of live here, take the road just all the way over to work, or they can take this back road, and maybe I'll make like another connection so they don't necessarily disrupt the traffic flow of this circle if they live in this neighborhood. Just like another outlet, I like to have two kind of places so people have different options, and maybe eventually we'll start getting like some biking paths so people can just kind of bike to work. So that's kind of just like the starting elements of the city. I don't know if I'm going to keep this. I would probably get rid of this for, if I'm trying to save money on on costs. That was mostly just to plan out this where to put that. But yeah, this is a good little town to start, and maybe this is something that I'll continue playing with. Don't know why the it looks like that doesn't say farming, but yeah, maybe I'll start. I'll play around with this a little bit more, and see where it takes me. Maybe I'll make a video in the future of where I kind of came with this. But at the moment, I think this is a good stopping point for this video. Glad this video is working out. I was having some complications earlier today, but hope you have a good rest of your day, and I'll catch you later.